Welcome to the Collector Cave, and today we have the first of my 2024 reviews for the year, and this is going to be all the hot toys that I got for this year, and I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. Did a similar thing last year. I only got 7 this year, not a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot that I wanted, and I've slowed down in my purchasing as well. But the ones I did get, I like them all. And like last year, this is going to be difficult to do because these figures are all great. I don't really have any problems with any of these I have. So just kind of do a quick overview here. So I got my first 89 Batman, like many people probably. I wasn't around collecting Hot Toys back when this first one was released. So this was a grail figure for me. Grew up in 89 Batman and really got me into Batman when I was a kid. And then this just came like yesterday or day before, the Stormtrooper, that backdrop, the LED backdrop with the Death Star backdrop is super cool. It's based off Return of the Jedi. And then Grand Admiral Thrawn, which this is based off of the Ahsoka TV show. Thrawn is my favorite Star Wars character. In fact, Timothy Zahn got me back into Star Wars when I was a middle-aged teenager when these books came out, the original Thrawn trilogy. So while this is not EU Thrawn, he was serviceable, but I expect a bit more. Maybe we'll see more from Thrawn. And then another one that I don't have any Vaders. This Vader came in this year, and this is the one from Return of the Jedi, the 40th anniversary, and this thing comes with a lot of stuff. Extra base, and then 3 head sculpts, and we'll display that a little bit more in detail when we go through these. And then this the symbiote suit, or the black suit as they call it in Spider-Man 2, the PS5 game. And man, another fantastic release. I like that figure a lot. And then of course the re-release for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. This is from Far From Home, so not technically a re-release, but I think a lot of the body is quite the same. The head sculpt obviously is updated. That came in, I think that was the first Hot Toys I got this year, maybe back in April, I believe. And then finally rounding things out is Kang the Conqueror from Quantumania. That's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Another grail figure of mine. I love Kang as a villain. And, you know, it's a disappointment with what happened with Kang and the MCU and everything. But regardless, the figure is really top-notch. So we're going to go through all of these one by one. I'm going to try and pick my least favorite and work my way up. And again, this is not going to be easy because every one of these figures I like a lot. So let's get started with my least favorite figure. Okay, my least favorite figure that I received in 2024 is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from No Way Home, technically called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, as it says in the base. I hate saying this is my least favorite figure, but out of the ones I have, it is. I love Spidey. I love Tobey as Spidey. I've never really had a problem with him being a Spider-Man. And man, this head sculpt is fantastic. Up until a few other ones, this to me was one of Hot Toys' best in my opinion. I thought it turned out great. Now it doesn't have rolling eyeballs, so they're kind of set in that position, but boy, it turned out so good. Now the suit, I think they didn't do much updating from the suit, which is a bit unfortunate because you can see the gapping there. I think they could have done a better job on this body, maybe made a new body. I think this is kind of the same body they used how many years ago, I think. I like how they have the soft goods mask though, which is cool. And I have him displayed with Doc Ock, or not Doc Ock, with Green Goblin up on my display, which I'll do a display video sometime soon. I've been rearranging things here recently at the end of the year. But man, it's a great figure. It's just, out of all the ones I got this year, it's my least favorite. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is my next figure in line. I thought this figure would be higher up the line at the end of the year. And this was one of my grail figures. Before I started collecting Hot Toys, I had told myself if they ever make a Doctor Doom, a Kang, or a Mysterio, I would get those for Hot Toys. And you know, we have the Mysterio, we're getting Doom, and now we got Kang. I think part of the problem though for me is how this all ended with the MCU, because I think Kang would have been a fantastic villain. It's unfortunate how things turned out, but it is what it is. But regardless, this is a fantastic figure. The eyes do light up. The white eyes light up, which looks really good, along with those white lines on his face. And he looks fantastic in this pose. There is an alternate head sculpt of the actor, but I mean, when you have Kang the Conqueror, you're going to display him looking like this. So one of the negatives on this is this massive base. Hot Toys needs to stop doing this. It looks cool, but it's just for collecting purposes and space, it's ridiculous how big this thing is. It doesn't look too big in the video, in the frame, but in person, this thing takes up half a detolf. It's massive. So that's one of the only knocks I have on this otherwise really great release from Hot Toys. All right, next up is the Stormtrooper from Return of the Jedi. This one just came in a couple days ago. You know, if it was like the Scout Trooper, I'd probably put him higher because Scout Trooper is my favorite. But regardless, this is a fantastic figure. The selling point is this LED backdrop that they gave with this figure. And it would be awesome if Hot Toys would sell these by themselves. Boy, that would be, you could have a whole wall of these things for your display cabinets. That's one thing Hot Toys lacking, is kind of diorama backgrounds, which they're getting better at. They're getting better. There's been some cool ones that have come out this year, and this is one of them. So overall, it's a great looking figure. It's kind of hard to tell the green lenses in this lighting here, but they are green, and in person you can see them a lot, way more than I ever expected to in real life. And there's not a lot of weathering on this trooper. There's some. So if you want a weathered trooper, this is not going to be the one you want. There is some weathering on some of the parts of the armor, but overall, great looking figure. And that's where he sits. I think this is number 4 in line for me. Okay, next up, Grand Admiral Thrawn. And it pains me to say that he's not number 1. Any other year, he probably would be number 1. And if it was an extended universe Thrawn and not Disney one, he definitely would have been number 1. But he comes in at number 4. The Stormtrooper was number 5. And it's a great looking figure. I think the only miss they made was there's no light up eyes. Being a Chiss, his eyes are glowing red. These should have been a light up feature. I don't know why they skimped out on that. But the eyeballs do roll, which is nice. Most of the Hot Toys releases now have rolling eyeballs, movable eyeballs, which is cool. The outfit looks great. Grand Admiral outfit. He comes with some accessories like a data pad, which is cool, and it comes with the Chimera on top of that mountain with this like hologram thing. It's really big though, it takes up a lot of space, so I just simply have Thrawn in my detolf or my display cabinet like this, looking very regal, in deep thought as he would. Again, fantastic figure. Not sure if this blue is going to come off on this white over time. It probably will, so I got to keep that in mind. But overall, I try to touch this figure with my hands because the oil's in this white. I try and use gloves whenever I handle this figure. But yeah, there's Grand Admiral Thrawn, number 4. All right, things are getting tough now. This is my 3rd favorite figure of the year. And for the longest time, it was my favorite figure. I didn't think anything was going to top this. I did have a bit of a snafu. I got my first one in trying to exchange this head here. It doesn't fit on very good in that ball joint. And I shattered the collar there. It was already cracked, and it shattered when I tried popping this head on. So fortunately, Sideshow sent me a replacement figure, which was nice, but I was pushed back about 2 weeks. So I had to sit here and wait for it to show up again, because I'm telling you, this figure is fantastic. The suit, you know, people will ask, is it sticky? No, it's not tacky. It does have a special feel to it, though. I think the closest would be the Venom figures. I don't have the Venom, but people have said, if you have the Venom figure, this is what it kind of feels like. But the suit looks alive. It looks like it's really moving, or like it just looks wet. It looks like it's a symbiote on him. And I wasn't going to use the arms originally, but man, seeing this thing in the detolf like this, it looks fantastic. And he has this cool tendril thing coming out right here. There's a lot of cool accessories with this figure. You see the black here as well. So yeah, definitely almost another grail figure for me is the black suit Spidey, which we got. I'm hoping Hot Toys does like the one from the comics, because that was one of the suit options in the game. was the comic looking, like the Secret Wars version. Secret Wars from the 80s, I should say. I would love to see them release that version. We'll see what happens, but for now, you know, this is fine for me, and this is my number 3 figure for the year. All right, and my number 2 Hot Toys figure of the year is 89 Batman. And ooh, this pains me because if this thing would have been a complete home run, it would have by far been my number 1 figure of the year. I've wanted a figure like this since I saw this movie as a 12-year-old in 1989. And as I've been collecting Hot Toys, I've been looking at the old one, but it's just so much money. So I figured I'd wait, and sure enough, they released a 2.0 with this amazing diorama. This is the deluxe edition. And I don't have the gargoyle on. There's a gargoyle that comes with it, like in the movie, but it won't fit in the detolf with the gargoyle. So unless you move your shelf. So that's not on there. I have it put away. But yeah, this base is fantastic. On the inside, it's like the cathedral steps. You can have him like walking up the steps. He has Vicky Vale's shoe that comes with it. And a couple of the docs on this figure, which is why it's not number 1 for me, is the face sculpts. This one to me is the best. I think this one looks like Keaton pretty good. The other two, though, not so much. And you would think here in 2024, Hot Toys would have done a better job with a Keaton head sculpt, as much as this figure is beloved and wanted by so many collectors, but they kind of botched it a little bit, in my opinion. And the suit, there's a lot of pitting, more pitting than normal than you saw in the movie. And I'm not sure why they did that. It's not a game breaker for me, but it's definitely a little bit of an eyesore. I wish they would have done a better job. And then the cape. They didn't use pleather, which is probably good for time, because this is going to last. This is more of like a velvety type, but it just doesn't look 100% accurate compared to the movie. And so it's a catch-22. Do you want 100% accuracy and things breaking down, or do you do something like this where it's going to last a longer period of time? It is wired, and I do think it looks good. It's just not 100% accurate. And that's why those few things, the face sculpts, the pitting, and the cape, keeps this from being my number 1 Hot Toys of the year. So that leaves us with one more figure. All right, and my number 1 Hot Toys figure of the year is Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi. This thing just cannot be denied. It comes with so much. This is the deluxe version. But it comes with the 3 head sculpts. You have your typical Vader helmet. You have the one when he's being electrified by the Emperor when he picks him up at the end of Return of the Jedi. And then you have the Sebastian Shaw head sculpt, which is fantastic. And you have some USB powered elements in this figure. This base is USB powered, and so is Vader. His chest, as you can see, is lit up. And if I move his arms out of the way, you can see these areas on his belt are also lit up, the green and the red there. And you can even run a USB from his lightsaber, a lightsaber powered USB to light up the lightsaber, which actually looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it looks good. But I'm probably going to pose them like this, typically on my shelf. So if you have like a USB bank, like something like this, multiple ones, you can put that behind your figure and plug this all in and have them turned on and have them lit up for, you know, a few hours at a time, unless you could run it to an outlet somehow. But yeah, so this is really cool. Let me put the Sebastian Shaw portrait on and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, and it also comes with this other display stand, which is like part of the Death Star, part of the Emperor's throne room from Return of the Jedi. So you build that, you put that together, and you can put them on this. Now this won't fit in a detolf like this, but if you have a different type of cabinet, or if you raise or lower your detolf shelves, you can make it work. But look at this Sebastian Shaw head sculpt. I've got his eyes turned to the side. They're not perfect, but you can roll the eyeballs with the tool they give you. But look at how fantastic that looks. You know, we saw this you know, him like this for a few minutes at the end of Return of the Jedi, but you could display your figure like this in your shelf. Really imposing. So there is a couple other display options for the LEDs, or not LEDs, for the USB, and that's the sculpt for the electrified head sculpt. And you can take this off. This is just an effect piece. But if I zoom in here, you can see his skull. Yeah, you can see his skull, his teeth right down there. And when this thing lights up, it kind of like flickers and it looks really neat. So there's a different on the back, on the power pack on the back. There's three different ways to switch it. You can switch it like this, where I have the chest going, or you run it with another option on, and it makes the head flicker. And here's the connection for the head. You just gotta be careful that when you go to pull this head sculpt off, that you unplug this first from the back of the battery pack. Otherwise, you could rip this wire right out of his neck. So just keep that in mind if you ever decide to use that head sculpt. But yeah, this is my my top hot toys for the year. It's funny because in any other years, I would have said Thrawn or that black Spider-Man would have been number one, and or the Batman. Boy, so there was some good figures I got this year. I didn't get many, but I'm getting better at picking and choosing. I'm not just buying everything. I can't. It's just too hard to keep up the pace with Hot Toys. It's like Hasbro now. They just release every figure you've ever seen. And that gets pricey, right? It gets pricey, and there's just no space. We downsized a couple years ago when we moved, so I have limited space. So I have to either rotate in and out or just keep it simple. So going forward, when it comes to Hot Toys, I'm only going to primarily get, when it comes to Star Wars, original trilogy stuff, because that's what I grew up on, and that's my love for Star Wars. Here's what the helmet looks like when you take off the exterior portion. It's detailed. So there was a lot of love and care given to this 40th anniversary set of Vader. I just wish they would have done more 40th anniversary stuff for both Empire and Return. There just wasn't enough, so maybe we'll get some more down the road. But anyway, this has been my Hot Toys video for 2024. All the ones I got, my least to favorite. What ones did you get this year? What figures do you really like? What's your favorite figure of the year from Hot Toys? What's your least favorite figure? Did you buy any duds? It's always tough to stomach when you buy a dud from Hot Toys, because you're talking, you know, a couple $100 usually. So otherwise, I'm going to have a couple more videos, a Mezco one, and then my top 10 figures for the year. That's going to include Hot Toys, Mezco, probably some Mars toys, a third party, and maybe some other things as well. So I appreciate everyone listening and watching my videos for the year. I've had this channel for just a little over a year now, so I appreciate your support. Give me a thumbs up, a like, you know, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, thanks for watching.